So welcome back guys, and in this video we are going to see that what basically CSS selector is and the basics of CSS selector. So first I would like to brief you about what basically CSS is. So CSS stands for cascading style sheets, and CSS is a style sheet language which describes the presentation of the HTML document. Okay, so if you write an HTML document, then it will tell us that what basically will appear over your website. But if you want to style it, you need the CSS, okay, cascading style sheets. Okay, so let me show you a demo. So you can see here over the W3 schools I have opened the CSS tutorial. So we can see here we have the HTML language, and in which we have coded my first CSS example, and this is a paragraph. But as you can see that my first CSS example is in the center. Okay, so why this is in the center? Just because of CSS. This is a paragraph is aligned towards the left, and you can change the color of this is a paragraph. Okay, and you can see that the background color is kind of bluish white. So you can change this also. For example, if I change this color of background light blue to suppose green, then and if I sorry green, and then if I run it, then you can see that the color changed to green. Okay, and if I change the color of h1 to black, and then I run it, then you can see that the h1 changed to black. So this is the basically CSS. So we have the HTML document, you can see from here till here, and we have the CSS embedded in the HTML document. This is basically CSS which is placed inside the style tag. Okay, style tag. So CSS starts from the style tag, and you can see that we are how we are designing our page with the help of the CSS. So what basically CSS selector is, you can see here that in the HTML we have this heading tag, okay, h1. So this is the selector of the h1 heading tag, because it has selected the h1 and then defined the color as black and text align as center. If you want to change something in the h1 tag, then you can make it, okay, as we have done already. So it turned to red. So let me include one more p tag over here, and you can see that this is another paragraph. Okay, so I'll close it and then run it. So you can see that this is another paragraph came just above this is a paragraph. Okay, because I have typed it just above the this is a paragraph line. Okay, so we have two p tags. Okay, and the selector or the CSS selector or the styling is done here. Okay, the styling of the paragraph is done here. Okay, so you can see here that we have p tag. Okay, so this is selecting the paragraph tag. So if I try to change one of the if I want to change the font size, then I can make it 40 pixel and then run it. So you can see here that the size increased. So this is how we can change the font size or the font family if you want, using the p tag, which selects the paragraph tag, and hence we can perform operations over the HTML body which we have over here using the CSS selectors like p or the h1. Okay, for example, if I include one more h1 over here, then you can see that these are the CSS tutorials. And then if I close the h1 tag and then I run it, we have another heading in the red color, only because the CSS selector h1 is giving the color red. If I change it to blue, then all the headings, all the h1 tag will have the color as blue. Run it and the color changed to blue. So this is how we change or style our HTML document or the HTML code using the CSS cascading style sheets, which is in the style tag. Okay, this is the style tag. Oh, sorry. this is the style tag. Okay, so we have the body selector, we have the h1 selector, we have the p selector. So these are the css selector, right? So let us now move to our presentation and see that what basically the points which we have included are saying for us. Okay, and get a little bit more clarity over them. So as seen by us, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS is a style sheet language, as we have seen, okay, which describes the presentation of the HTML document. You have seen it very clearly, okay. And CSS selectors are used to target the HTML elements on the web page. You have seen all these points, and I hope that it is clear to you. So the syntax for the CSS selector, as we have seen in the Xpath, similarly we have it like the tag name and then attribute name is equals to and then single inverted comma attribute value. Okay, for example, if we have an input tag and also if the input tag has an id attribute, okay, then we can write it as input, that means the tag name, and then the attribute id attribute and its value. Okay, for example, the value is first name, okay, first underscore name. So this is what basically the syntax of the CSS selector. So let us move to salesforce.com, start my free trial page, and then inspect this first name. Okay, inspecting this gets us the input tag, okay, input tag, and then we have id is equals to user first name and this, and then we have name is equals to user first name. So for example, let me press Ctrl F over here, and then let me show you that how our syntax, this particular syntax, okay, this tag name attribute name is equals to attribute value will work. So I'll write the tag name input, and then the tag name, I had to inspect it again. Tag name is name, and Control C I'm pressing, name, and then equals to its value in the single inverted comma. So pasting it, and you can see that it got selected, and this result is unique, 1 of 1. Okay, so this is the syntax for CSS selector. Okay, so this is how we select it. So I hope that this is clear to you, and let us now take one more point related to the id attribute. So let us move to the next slide and show you. So CSS selector select by id. What I mean in this slide is that if there is a web element that has an id attribute, then we can use the id attribute details in the CSS selector. Okay, so we can use the id attribute here also. For example, we have this id, so let me copy this. It's not copying. Let me again inspect it once more. Yeah, now it will copy, I guess. Yeah, so Control C, I have copied the value of the id, and now I have to write the tag input and then square brackets and then id is equals to value. The value will go as Control V. So you can see that again 1 of 1 has been selected. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you here, that we can replace the id attribute with a hash sign. Okay, we can replace the id attribute with a hash sign. Okay, and now the things will go as tag name, and no square brackets are required, and we can directly write the hash and then the element id. Okay, so if we write the tag name input and then an hash and then a hash, okay, and then the value of that id attribute, then things will go same. Okay, so if we replace this particular thing with let me remove it and write it hash and then paste the value of that particular id, again you can see that that particular element got selected. This first name is getting selected when I'm moving my pointer over the selected tag. You can see first name is getting highlighted. Okay, so id can be removed. So if we write it like this, for example this, then this will be selected. Or if we replace this whole lot of things with a simple hash, then also this particular tag will be selected. So this is what the presentation is saying, that if the web element has an ID attribute, then we can use the ID attribute details in the CSS selector as we have seen, and the ID attribute can be replaced by hash, okay, or symbolized by a hash sign, and we have seen the example also. So I hope that the CSS selector basics and the syntax of the CSS selector are clear to you. Us now perform one more thing, that let us move to the script of Selenium and see whether that our ID attribute is working properly or not. Okay, so let us, because this is a dynamic ID, I know that this is dynamic ID. As soon as we reload the page, this MCQX will change to something else. I know this. Okay, you can see here that it is BHSV now, and this will again change when I'll reload the page. Okay, you can see very clearly that this will change. See, 5JVH. Okay, so this is changing, so we cannot use the ID attribute, but we can select some other web element. So I found this particular div tag, which is the let's chat option. Okay, so this is the let's chat option. So if I'll click over here, something will open, and let's see what happens. It's loading something. So it loaded a chat box. So let us now inspect this particular let's chat option. So when I inspected this, we can see the div tag over here. Let's inspect once more. Yeah, so this is the div tag. So let us copy this particular ID, copied it, and then press Ctrl F. So I have to write div, and then I have to write ID is equals to single inverted comma, and then paste the ID. So this got selected. Okay, 1 of 1, this got selected. So let us copy this and paste it into our script. So first let us navigate to that particular website. So let me first copy this, Control C, and then I need to paste the URL. So driver.get, we navigated to the salesforcedeveloper.com start my free trial page, and then we maximize the window, and then we need to find the element. Okay, so find element, and then by CSS selector. Okay, CSS selector, and then we need to paste that particular CSS selector which we have generated. Control C, and then pasting it. Sorry, it did not get copied, so let us copy it once more and Control C. So yeah, it got pasted, and then we need to click over that particular link, right? So I have typed the script, and then I'm saving it and then running it. Okay, so let us see what happens, whether it is able to click over that particular start the chat box option or not. So the Chrome browser opened, and it opened the salesforcedeveloper.com start my free trial page, and it maximized the browser, and then I hope that let's chat will be clicked and the chat box will open, right? So let's wait for a while. It did not clicked over the let's chat option. And what's the error here? Let us see. The error is element not interactable. Okay, so let me provide thread.sleep here. What is this? I'll be telling you. You do not worry about this. I'll be telling you in the waits in Selenium WebDriver. So let us run the script once again. Basically, the element is not able to load, and our script is running faster than the loading time of the element, so it was not able to click over that element. So it again launched the website, it again maximized the browser, and now let's see what happens. See, it clicked over the let's chat, and the chat box is loading. Okay, so it loaded. I hope that you have seen. So let us wait for a while here more for suppose 10 seconds, and then let me run the script again. Okay, so these all practice you should also do, because you can learn by all these things, so that you do not get worried when your script does not runs, and you should have a practice of solving the error. See, it's less chat right now, and it will change to loading. See, it changed to loading, right? Look at the right corner, it changed to loading, and it opened the chat box, right? So this is how you come over the errors, and you solve the errors on your own. So you should definitely try things. Okay, so this is the most important thing which you will come over by practicing the scripts by your own, and you will feel confident after coming over the errors which you have noticed. So I hope that now this is clear. So let us instantly try that hash thing. If you replace the id by hash, then what will happen? Will it run? So I replace the id by hash, and then I save the script, and then I'm running it again. So the website is loading, and it will now maximize the browser after loading the website. It's taking a little bit of time. So it maximized the, the let's chat is again loading, you can see here, and it will open the chat box, and it opened the chat box, and now the website will close. Okay, so this is how the id tag and its value can be replaced by a hash sign. Okay, so I hope that the video is clear to you. This was a long video, and it's a good concept to be noticed. So I'll meet you in the next video, and till then, keep learning, keep revising, and keep watching. Thank you.